Morgen, wie geht es Ihnen, mein Pfeifenfreund? Alles klar? Sehr gut. Ja, ich heiße Walter Franz und it is a Saturday morning here in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Gotcha. Actually, it's not Minnesota, but it is Elk Grove, California. I used to live in Minnesota for a number of years, and so every now and then I still listen to Minnesota Public Radio on my walks. It's kind of cool. And Minnesota right now, they're having some probably muggy summer weather, some clouds and rain and in the forecast today, I guess yesterday and today. So I just love that kind of weather, that kind of summer thunderstorm weather. Just love it. Well, I am here this morning to talk to you and share with you just some thoughts and feelings. Hope you all had a wonderful 4th. Let me get a little bit of refreshment here. Some caffeine, and I am smoking my Pfeiffe mit einiger Boswells, Northwoods. I'm kind of smoking this this beautiful Pfeiffe, in honor of my dear friend Hermannator, who is celebrating 25 years of his marriage to his lovely wife. And I just saw a video of his about a week ago, which he posted. And so congratulations, Herman, and I hope you have another happy 25. Again, it's kind of a cloudy, overcast day in Deutschland, as he made his video early in the morning, sharing with us his thoughts and feelings of his 25th anniversary. I use this Pfeiffe because this was the very first Yabo or box opening, very first pipe that I bought 3 years ago when I joined the YouTube pipe community. And I don't know exactly. I know that I wanted to buy a beautiful pipe and do a pipe box opening, and I went to the Briar Patch. This was when they had the beautiful store in Arden Fair Mall. I did not know about the Pfeiffe pipe until watching some videos, and then I remember seeing one in the store, and it just absolutely was a beautiful, it still is a beautiful pipe that I saw that morning or that afternoon. I can't remember now which, but I said, boy, I want this. And nice thing is it has an interchangeable stem, so you can make it into a church warden as it is now, or even a shorter stem for more like a travel pocket pipe. I apologize I don't have that stem to interchange and show you, but just take my word for it. But this pipe has been a beautiful pipe, and I enjoy smoking. It's reminiscent of a Hobbit pipe, very much like Herman is smoking in his video. So being in solidarity with him, I thought I would smoke a bowl of also a Northwoods. I just saw a Matches 860 video. There's a guy on there who kind of resembles John, but he's got a mustache now. So either somebody has hijacked his channel or John's going through a midlife crisis. I haven't decided which yet. But John was talking about Northwoods and Boswell blends. And he was talking about there was a quality about Boswell blends I think he said that nobody ever sent him a Boswell blend. And until finally somebody asked him if he had ever tried Northwoods. And John's pretty much an English Latakia smoker. And so somebody sent him some Northwoods, and he just fell in love with it. And again, I've tried many of the Boswell blends are aromatics. But the phrase that kind of caught my attention in his video was that nobody ever sent him any Boswell blends, and there was a sense of they didn't send them to him because they were keeping them for themselves, or they smoked them all up because they're that good. This is probably, and you can tell, it's kind of a little, it's on its last layer. Little baggie that I got probably 2 years ago in one of my Boswell shipments. And the thing I find about the Boswell blends is that they keep very well. I mean, they take a lot of abuse. I mean, clearly this has not been properly cellared. I'll be the first one to admit that. But I'll tell you what, it smokes smooth and cool, and yes, very delicious. I like Northwoods. It is a departure from their aromatics, but it's, you know, sometimes people can do certain tobaccos or certain things really well, and other things they don't do very well at all. And I really think that the fine folks at Boswell's, and J.M. himself, is a master tobacconist. He's not only a master pipe carver, but this guy is sort of like, he's got the zen of pipeness. Yeah, he's just that kind of guy. And but the tobaccos I have never had so far, you know, I've tried probably 4, 5, 6, 7 of their different blends, to include some of their novelty blends that they come out with, like Cupcake, which was this last year's introduction. Very good. You know, again, I was a little bit wary that it was going to be just a little too sweet, or too aromatic, or too cased, or whatever. Not at all. But very tasty, let me tell you. And it didn't burn hot. Don't know how he does that, but he definitely knows how to blend tobaccos. And not only that, but they keep so well. I mean, if I had probably put this, properly cellared this, it could last for 10 years, no problem. So anyway, also I wanted to get on here and wish Pipe Revival, our illustrious Dr. Aaron, you know, smooth sailing. He's going to take a hiatus for a while, he says. And I wish you all the best, buddy. Always enjoyed your videos. He has, especially one video he has on a pipe museum there somewhere in Europe. I forgot where it was. What was it, Germany or France or Luxembourg or Belgium or someplace? But wonderful video. And plus, just some of the things that he works on. And he's just a great guy. You know, he's just a really likable guy to listen to. Very knowledgeable. Loves his pipes. One time he gave us a tour of his pipes, his pipe collection and everything. Just fascinating, really good. Always enjoyed his videos. He reminds me of Astroman 2112, James there in Thailand. So those two guys were kind of like twin brothers separated at birth, I always thought. Well, just extremely enjoyable presenters. You could watch their videos real easily. Another one I'm just seeing coming back up is Home Waters. Olivier is good. I wonder what happened to Simone, another Canadian guy I loved, you know, a lot. I have to be honest with you, with the reiteration of YouTube and how it keeps seems to be buried more and more in the ever encroaching shell of Google Plus. Like I used to, my subscriptions used to come up first thing, and now that I've noticed, I'm kind of obtuse, guys. I'll be honest with you, I've got a little bit, kind of been scatterbrained for the last several months. It finally dawned on me just yesterday. I go, wait a minute, where are my subscriptions at? I don't see my subscriptions anymore. They used to be there. And I had to go hunting for them, and finally I found a list of my subscribers, not subscribers, but my subscriptions, people that I like to watch, and said, normally I get a little announcement saying, Dig 6 has posted a new video, or Matches 860 has posted a new video, or Angela's got a new bag in Eric's world, and all these people that I kind of watch on a regular basis. Yes, Mark, you too. Golly, you're so sensitive. Making change. Yeah, I still watch a lot of your videos, but again, it just dawned on me that they're not coming up as regularly as they used to, and I had to go hunting for the tab that's now embedded deeper and deeper into the poor diminishing world of YouTube. That's my rant for the day. So wish Pipe Revival, our dear friend there, who travels back and forth, hope he's doing well, and again, good tailwinds to you, buddy. Okay. Anyway, I was also watching a Jay video. I haven't seen a Jay video in quite some time. And I just had to get on here, and I think maybe old Jay kind of, he always gets me thinking, as he does all of us, I'm sure. I don't have a tamper except my index finger. I know that's, I guess really only real men use their index finger as a tamper. Yeah. So I've entitled this video, and I'm going to be honest, I'm probably plagiarizing Jay. Or at least I'm probably stealing some creative intellectual property from him. Jay, I hope you don't mind. I'm calling this video Gas Station Pizza. I mean, when you think about it, especially in my recent health journey and almost fitness stuff, I don't do pizza like I used to. And one of the reasons why I probably don't do pizza anymore is because of the heartburn that I would get. I get serious heartburn after eating a pizza. And I'm not to say I didn't love it. I certainly did. But I'm noticing more and more that when I have avoided a lot of the things that used to make me sick and ill, and I don't eat them anymore on a regular basis, I am enjoying a quality of health that I haven't enjoyed in probably 20 years. I might even say almost never. When you're younger, you can kind of get away with a lot of this stuff, but when you get in your 40s and 50s, it's harder and harder to indulge without paying a price, and sometimes a heavy price. So when he talked about gas station pizza, Jay, if you're watching, first of all, thanks, and also thanks for the great ideas. But it just conjured up a whole bunch of stuff, and to me, it's almost like a contradiction in terms. Gas station pizza. I mean, I can feel it. It's like one. How could you? It's just like it. It's like, dunghill ice cream, or something like that. It's like taking two things that just don't seem to go together and putting them together. And you could almost make a chain, gas station pizza, and make a cult chain of people that make these, just maybe make these horrendous pizzas using all sorts of bizarre ingredients, but make them where they actually do turn out pretty good and taste good. But anyway, Jay was saying that the gas station pizza, really greasy. He goes, it's not the greatest pizza in the world, it's not the worst pizza in the world, it's just gas station pizza. Okay. But he was telling a story about a lady, and it all had to do with the perception of reality. And he said he was watching this all unfold. And he said this lady who, I'll put it in my own words, looked like she was kind of had looked like she had many hard roads ahead of her, or behind her. You know, really, really had a pretty hard life. Let's just say it that. Kind of a rough-hewn persona. And anyway, she was in this gas station, and they were ordering some food. Anyway, she told the kid to go get a gallon of milk. Stop me if you've heard this before. Kid comes back with a gallon and puts it on the counter there, and the woman starts to, you know, look at everything else, getting some lotto tickets, some cigarettes. Anyway, all of a sudden she says, "Hey, this milk is warm," and the attendant says, "Well, we have cold milk in the dairy case back there." And they said, "Yeah, but every time we come here, the milk's always warm." And Jay says he's listening to this being played out, and finally, this is where it gets a little bizarre. The person, the checkout person's being very polite and being very patient, and the person starts ranting about how every time they come, they get the warm milk, and even the milk in the case isn't cold. Now, don't ask me how they missed this, but when finally the attendant looks at the lady and then looks at the jug on the counter, she says, "Well, excuse me, ma'am, but that's not milk, that's water." Now, that story just floored me, because it kind of highlights a thing that I think I see in the world today, this lack of perception. People do not, they don't perceive reality. Some people, they live in their alternate reality to such an extent that basic reality is now, they're not processing that. Yeah, it's an honest mistake, and the kid, you know, probably didn't know when she said, "Go back and get some milk," you know, and Jay says, you know, well, the kid found a gallon jug, and a gallon jug's a gallon jug, boom. And maybe somehow the lighting was such that the mother just kind of thought it was 1% milk or something. I don't know. But to have that poor of a perception in the world, and maybe it's due to the fact that we live these virtual, digital lives in some ways. I mean, here I am, you know, maybe railing against a little bit of technology, and I'm probably one of the biggest techno addicts there are. You know, I'm just a Mr. Apple. You know, they put out a new thing. I'm probably going to be I've never stood in line. Now that's not neither a bad thing or a good thing. It's just that I'm just maybe too lazy to stand in line. I'll wait for my technology. I am patient. I can wait, but I'm probably, you know, a good old-fashioned Mac addict. I like Apple products. I like technology. You know, it's probably as much as the next person. But the more I kind of take a step back and start to analyze and reevaluate my quote-unquote technological life, and to include things even that a lot of us take for granted, things like microwave and, you know, Teflon cooking surfaces, I'm starting to even say to myself, you know, I'm wondering how healthy all this is. Granted, somebody who's not a member of our pipe community who thinks you're talking about health and you're smoking a pipe, get real. But I can't help but think that somehow we're being assimilated by the great gas station pizzas in the world, you know. Which leads me to my little theological kind of a rant. Not so much a rant, but an observation. Again, people, I think, are not really accepting reality on reality's terms. And I'm all for making your life better, don't get me wrong. If there's a problem, I believe, fix it if you can. Whether if it's your personal life, your health, your relationships, your work environment, your job, your livelihood. If there's a problem, fix it. If there's something that can be fixed, then fix it. But I told you a video ago that I was making this long, huge video, and it was all about, some theological things and philosophical things. And I went on like 45 minutes, and I just didn't put it up there. And a couple of you have been saying, no, I'd be game, I'd watch it. You're kind, you're very kind, and very, very understanding. But I think I'm still gonna just let it go, because it was one of those rants that you really, it was kind of painful to listen to. Even this one's probably painful to listen to. But what I want to say, and again, I'm saying this as a padre, and some of you probably won't want to hear this, and I'm sorry to say it. And again, it's not so much my opinion, it's based upon kind of like what I know. And it's having to say, this is the way things really are. And you can either do one of two things. You can either accept it or you can reject it. Okay? Accept it and embrace it, or reject it and move on. But what a lot of people are trying to do in our society is they're trying to alter, I think, reality. And again, there's a difference between changing things that can truly be changed and really being a bit, again, not really paying attention, not perceiving what things really are before you. There's some things that you just can't change. And what I wanted to say in regards to that is that the church, for those of you who are interested in my little humble views on the church is kind of twofold. And it's two sides of the same coin, and you have to take both sides at the same time. They exist, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not. They do exist together, and you can't split them. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that on one hand, yes, the Catholic Church can be very, very social oriented. It does a lot of good. Now, whether you want to, talk about all the pedophile priest problems and all the corruption problems at the Vatican Bank and all that stuff, okay. Those things, again, that's part of the reality too. But the grassroots, the rank and file, day-to-day parish and parishioners, they're just trying to live their lives, and they're trying to also do good things for people. Okay, our parish alone raises lots of money to help with charitable organizations year-round. Okay, just had another one last weekend. Okay, I don't make money by promoting anything. Okay, I get a little salary. I get what's called a stipend once a month, but I don't get like commissions. I don't get I don't get bonuses. Okay. So the thing is that I'm not in it to make money. We don't make money. That's why I became a priest. Okay. But the church does, yes, it does raise a lot of money, and it raises money primarily to support ministries and to do outreach and to help people in need. And that's true. So a lot of people love it when the church does those kinds of things. We're going to help you, we're going to give you something. So there's that action thing, take care of the poor, take care of the underprivileged. Boom, got it. We do that. But the other side of the coin to the church is the theological, ethical, moral side. And basically it is the side that has, what it really is dealing with is looking at your own life and trying to see how you measure up. Not so much judging other people, which unfortunately it does get down to that. if people could realize that the message of the gospel is not about trying to judge others, but it's about judging yourself and trying to change yourself, I don't think we'd have nearly the problems that we've had in the past. But that being said, there is still that, if you will, moral component, which, whether we like it or not, whether you like it or not, is very, very clear about what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. But again, we live in a country where we get a chance to practice our faith, and but we don't hopefully try to use it against others. Now we can share people and say, well, our faith teaches this, you know, and if you can't accept that, no one's saying you have to. But a lot of people in today's culture don't like hearing some of the Catholic moral answers, and so what they want to do is they want to try and change all that. And guess what I'm trying to say in a very loving but realistic and you know, serious way, honest way, is that if you look at the catechism of the church and you look at the authoritative teachings of the church, you will discover, as I have, that those things will never change. They can't change. And a lot of people have mistakenly looked at the church as kind of like a democracy that can be, you know, if we don't like this teaching or this whatever, we can change it. We can make it. We can eliminate it if we want to, or we can vote it out. And all I would say is, if you're questioning what I'm saying, or you disagree with what I'm saying, all I'm trying to say is that this is the nature, this is the reality. You know, it's sort of like the difference between the gallon of water and the gallon of milk. You know, you might want that to be a gallon of milk, but it's not, and it's not going to become a gallon of milk. Okay, it's a gallon of water, so deal with it. Accept it. Now, again, we live in a free country, and if people don't particularly care for or subscribe to the teachings of the Catholic Church, then that's fine, you know. Again, my best friend is not Catholic. He doesn't agree with probably 50% of what I believe as a Catholic, but that doesn't mean we can't be friends. It doesn't mean we don't still, you know, enjoy each other's company. It doesn't mean that we don't, it also means that we don't also pretend that sometimes differences don't exist. They do. But we try to, every now and then we'll talk about it, and I'll say, well, from my perspective and from what the church teaches, this is what I believe. And he says, well, I don't see it that way. You know, the Bible says this. You know, okay, fine. You know, that's his opinion. He's entitled to it. And, you know, but as long as there's that mutual respect of saying, you know, I respectfully disagree, I don't see really what the problem is. But a lot of it has to do, in today's world, about people trying to alter and change things that really can't be altered and changed. And this is where I think a lot of the frustration comes in. And as a person who's seen, when I say both sides of the coin, and have tried to live both sides of the coin, I kind of go, yeah, people would like to say, for example, female priests. Ain't going to happen. And that's not me saying that. I'm saying go back and read the documents. You're going to find out that that's just not a possibility. Okay? And you can't change it. Now, if you want, I'll say this. If you think that, you know, there's some injustice going on towards women that can't be priests, there are other faith denominations that believe they can have female ministers and even female priests. I think the Episcopalians ordain women to the priesthood, even being, I think some of them bishops even. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think they do. Maybe it's the Methodists that do. I don't know. Okay, so if you're of that mindset, I would say probably find for yourself a greater sense of peace and harmony and just going to a place that believes the way you do and meeting new people. That's always a nice thing. And instead of railing against the system and trying to change it because it's futile. Resistance is futile. Let's say we're the Borg, but some people may want to say that. But you have to understand the theology. You have to understand the underlying principles that guide Catholic theology and moral theology. And whether or not you agree at the end of the day, at least you understand how things operate and how things really work. You have the correct, you perceive it as it really is, not as something you would like to see, kind of like an altered perception. And I think that, I'll bring this to a little close here as I talk about, gas station pizza theology, is that a lot of people get themselves wrapped around the axle needlessly because they try and change things that really can't be changed. Just wanting something to change, it's just be like me looking at a piece of lead and saying, man, I want to make that into gold. Well, you know what? You might want to make that into gold. But I don't think you're going to do it. Just think that, maybe someday, who knows, but the way things are now, the way reality is now, it just is not possible. So, for me, there sometimes there is that kind of that odd juxtaposition of things that really don't make sense sometimes. Gas station pizza. I couldn't imagine getting a good place, getting a really good quality pizza at a place called a gas station. And sometimes it's hard to reconcile those things. But I think the thing that I find in my life, which seems to help, maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't, is to really accept things as they really are. And then where you can change, because we can always change. Again, if you don't like something, you're free to go find something else. You're even free to go start your own, whether you want to start your own physical fitness program and sell that on the internet. A lot of people do that. You want to start your own special diet and sell that on the internet, you're free to do that. You want to create your own religion or philosophy and sell it on the internet or promote it on the internet, you're free to do that. But what I find is when people kind of butt their head against reality and it doesn't serve a purpose, it only makes them angry, it makes them problematic, if you will, in the rest of society because they're striving for something that just will never be. And it's like they put themselves and the others that are in close proximity to them in kind of some real, I think, psychological dissonance. And after a while, it must get awfully tiring. There's a point where there's a real wisdom in surrender to the way things really are instead of just trying to beat your head against the wall. So again, there are sometimes you can't quite reconcile things except by just kind of surrendering to the fact that this isn't real and I'm just going to have to just deal with it, whether I like it or not, but this is the way it is. This is reality. So if you got something out of that, great. If you don't, God bless you anyway. And besides, there's always a pipe that you can sit with and ponder these things I've said or your own life, and just maybe you'll come up with an idea for you that works. Sometimes I find that when things don't make sense, go smoke a pipe, and maybe you'll find a solution. And if nothing more, you'll find a little period of peace and contentment, which can go a long ways to making you feel much, much, much better. Okay, well, old Holy Smoking Pipe Padre saying happy trails. That's what I'll say. Happy trails until we meet again.